Welcome back to the channel, people. I am live. First ever live stream. How is everybody doing today? We're going to talk about the Premier League champions, of course. What do you think of the... Start again. What did you think of the performance from Liverpool last night against Southampton? I mean, for me, positives and negatives. The main negative, of course, Leone, he's out for the season. I read today that think that he could come back before the end of the season. He's not. He's out for the season, people. He's done his knee. And when he went down, I thought maybe it's concussion or something. Maybe he hurt his back. Out for the season. So unlucky. And he was playing well. He really was. The other negative, of course, Ekitike gets himself sent off. What was he thinking? Like, honestly, what was he doing? I mean, you know, it was obvious what he was doing. Okay, he scored the goal. He took the shirt off to show the name on the back to tell everybody, I'm number one. No, you're not. Isak is number one. But really poor from him. Joe says defense was good, but when mistakes happened, they were leading to good chances. That's true. I mean, especially in the first half. I mean, Southampton on the counter-attack. They hit the bar. Remember Joe Gomez nearly scored an own goal? You know, defensively, lads. Now, look. It was a brand new team. 11 changes. So, for me, I'm not going to criticise the way we play it. Because you can't. You know, you can't do that when you have 11 changes. But look, at the end of the day, it's about winning the game. Rook says the only Leone news is so sad. It is. I mean, he was doing well, wasn't he? And can you imagine how good he would have been beside Virgil van Dijk? You know, and now Liverpool, they have to go and get Mark 80 in January. They have to. Or they have to get somebody. Because you cannot go into the season with only, what, three fit centre-halves now? And as well, you look at Kanate, you look at Joe Gomez. Their injury record isn't good. So how can you say, oh no, they'll be fine now for the season? They won't be. We have to get somebody in January. He was so unlucky. He was playing really well. He really was. W says, I'm a big fan of Gomez, but he made a few mistakes last night. Is this because he's not getting the minutes? More late rotations acquired. Yeah, look, it could be. That's a good point. He came on against Arsenal. And I thought he was excellent. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. You know, I was hoping, you know, he'd grab that chance last night. He was the more experienced centre-half there, and it looked like Joe Gomez was the one making his debut. You know, Leone was playing like a man who's played in the Premier League for years. I was really disappointed with Joe Gomez. And I'm a big fan of Joe Gomez. I really am. Andy says, Endo is not good enough. It was terrible last night. It was his worst game for Liverpool. Absolutely dreadful. It was dreadful. Endo has a job at Liverpool. And that is, come on, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go when Liverpool are winning. Shut up shop. Bring on Endo. And that's it, game over. He was absolutely terrible last night. He really was. I've never seen anybody give away the ball as much. And then what was he at with the goal? Honestly, people. Really, really poor. Let's get the team up, actually. Let's look at this. Now, this is my first live stream, so I'm messing around with this here today. So, look at this here now. Look at that, people. I'm a pro. I'm a pro already. Let's get up the team and let's go through them. Right, line up. I mean, the man of the match, of course. Mr. Federico Chiesa. What a performance that was. 2 assists, and I tell you, the proper assists. You know this all stats nowadays. You get an assist for anything. Remember Busquets' assist for Messi years ago against Real Madrid? You know, but these were proper assists. He lays it on a plate for Isak and for Ekitike. Brilliant performance, man of the match. And even towards the end, I mean, we're winning 2-1. The game is pretty much over. Southampton aren't going to get an equaliser. Chiesa was the one tracking back. I thought he was absolutely excellent. Fair play to him because, I mean, Arne Slot, you know, it's hard to know about Arne Slot because he left them out of the Champions League squad. And then you're thinking, oh, he just doesn't rate him. Then he plays him last night. He was man of the match. He mightn't play again now for another couple of months. You wouldn't know with him. I would put Chiesa ahead of Gakpo. Yeah, look, I think Chiesa's performance last night, he gave the manager something to think about. He definitely did. What do you think of the goalkeeper, actually? You know I'm a big critic of the goalkeeper now. He didn't have much to do. Pulled off a great save in the first half. Great save in the second half as well. But yeah, I thought it was a good game for him to come into against Southampton. Look, I think Southampton are 19th in the Championship. We should be beating them. Okay, it's that simple. But fair play to him. I thought he played well. Andy Robertson, solid. Frimpong was terrible. Lads, what do you really think of Frimpong? Be honest with me now. What do you really think of him? John Axford, love the live streams. Keep them coming. Thank you very much, John, for the super chat. First super chat of the channel. Thank you very much. Yeah, look, it's my first live stream, so I'm just giving it a go. So apologies if I'm not great at, but I'm trying my best. But I have to give mad respect to the likes of Anfield Agenda, who do it every day. Mark Goldbridge, you know, fair play to them. But yeah, we'll give it a go. Tim says Chiesa was excellent. Ekatike is an Egypt for those two bookings. Good to see you live stream. Frimpong doesn't look great. Thanks very much, Tim. Yeah, really disappointed in Frimpong last night. Because the reason I was really disappointed with the real senior players, even if Leone hadn't have played well, you're not going to criticise him. It's his first start. Even if Marmadashvili hadn't have played well, you're not going to criticise him his first start. But the likes of Frimpong, Endo, Gomez, these players were so poor. You know, these lads have to take this chance. Because, you know, Arne Slot, the man is ruthless. You know, he's not going to give them many more chances. But let's go back to the team. Alexander Isak, what a player. What a player. What was going on with the sprints at half-time? I thought that was hilarious. I actually texted a friend of mine and said he's injured. He's taking him off at half-time. They're going through tests at half-time there to see if it's serious. No, it was just part of his fitness plan. The manager has to start him on Saturday. Leave him on, people. What a player, honestly. Anfield Agenda is pretty good. I like him. Yeah, look, Anfield Agenda, you have to give him mad respect. He's got over 300,000 subscribers. I mean, I don't agree with everything he says, of course, but no, fair play to him. He's built a massive channel. Yeah, I mean, Isak, it was his warm down. Yeah, I know now. I was sweating. I was thinking, this man's injured. What's going on, people? But no, he'll start now on Saturday. What a player, though. Isn't it a pity he didn't score, what was it, in the first minute? It was a great save by the keeper. But what a goal that would have been, honestly. It was better in the second half. But yeah, what did you think of Ekatike anyway? I mean, look, I was so disappointed because Crystal Palace away, such a difficult game. It always is for Liverpool, always. We actually have a decent record there, but it's such a difficult game. I mean, Isak will start on Saturday, but to have Ekatike on the bench, and now, I mean, it was just, but how good is the manager though? The way he handled that after the game. You know, the press obviously are going to, they're just looking for a headline, and they would have hoped that Arne Slot would have really criticised the player. He criticised him in the right way, but I'd say he was fuming with the player. I'd say when he got a chat with him, it was serious. I mean, I'd say he was fuming. Because, you know, I mean, as I say, Isak will start on Saturday. Ekatike now is not there. It was good to see Jadon Dan's back as well last night. He has to be on the bench. Yeah, there you go. Tommy C says, Palace unbeaten, only conceded 2 goals. Remember the Community Shield as well, people. Honestly, I get so nervous for the Premier League games. I didn't mind so much last night. Delighted Liverpool won. But you know, you can console yourself because of the League Cup. But they better not lose on Saturday, people. Honestly. Ruin my whole weekend. I get terribly depressed. Terribly depressed when Liverpool lose. But tough game. Community Shield as well. You know, we started the game really well. Crystal Palace came back into it. Virgil had a terrible game, but he's been one of our best players this season. So we have to go there on Saturday and just make sure you get 3 points, lads. Honestly, can you imagine if we get 3 points on Saturday? Arsenal have to go to Newcastle on Sunday. I mean, Man City play Burnley. But looking at Man City the other day, I don't think Man City are in it. I know that's a dangerous thing to say when it's Manchester City, but I just don't think they're in it. You know, Arsenal made them look very, very ordinary the other day. I mean, they parked the bus. Man City, a Pep Guardiola team actually parked the bus. But honestly, if Liverpool can win on Saturday, put serious pressure on Arsenal. We could be 8 points clear when Arsenal kick off. And Newcastle is not an easy place to go. We proved that. 2-0 up, let them back in. Miss Gravenberch and Community Shield, that's a great point actually. Really great point. He's been our best player. You know, he got Young Player of the Year last year. If he keeps going the way he's going, Player of the Season. This is a good question. Sorry, where is it? This one here. Is there some issues with Ekitike and Isak already? I don't think there is issues. I just think it's a bit of healthy competition. And I just think Ekitike, when he scored the goal, he was just basically reminding people, look, I'm here as well. It's not all about Isak. You know, I just think it's a little bit of arrogance, confidence. I'm not going to criticise Ekitike because I like that. You know, it's healthy competition. You know, he's not going to be there to just say, oh no, I'm a sub now. So I don't think it's an issue between them personally or anything, but I just think it's healthy competition. I didn't mind it until I realised then he was on a yellow card. But no, I think it's just healthy competition, hopefully anyway, because you don't want the two of them fighting. Oh, this is a good point. No Eze for Palace either. Correct. He's not good enough for Palace. Joking, of course. He's at Arsenal now, of course. What do we think of Arsenal? Be honest. I mean, last year Liverpool won the title. No title race. We had it won very easy. I actually picked Arsenal in the summer to win the league because I just thought all the changes that Liverpool made. I actually thought Arteta was going to change, and I was an idiot. Okay, I was an idiot. I thought he was going to change the way he approaches certain games. He's proved it at Anfield. He proved it against Man City. He's not changing a thing. He's too defensive. He's not going to try and win these games. He's going to try and not lose these games. You know, you hear all the stats that, what is he, 5 games now without defeat against Pep? The first manager to ever do it. Who cares? How many of them were draws? How many league titles did you win? 0. It doesn't matter. You know, you look at Liverpool. Liverpool have lost to Pep Guardiola. Liverpool have lost to Mikel Arteta in the last couple of years. But who's won the league title? Liverpool did. Arsenal didn't. You know, he needs to forget about all these stats. Go and win those games, and you might actually win the league. Honestly, I thought he was going to change. Arteta, Tony Pulis out the cap. I mean, his hair is absolutely pristine, honestly. I mean, it's a Lego head, obviously, but absolutely pristine. I would absolutely hate to listen to a smug Simon Jordan if Liverpool were to lose to Palace. I actually like Simon Jordan. I really do. I think that he speaks a lot of sense, but for some reason, whenever it's about Liverpool, he goes on about this Liverpool fans, they're not good losers. Something like that, he said. Or they don't like conceding goals. He also kept saying, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. I mean, you're contradicting yourself there. You know, of course Liverpool are not good losers. Who is? You know, he was talking about when Crystal Palace went to Anfield a few years ago and Palace scored and he almost felt like people were saying, don't be celebrating. Well, yeah, obviously, Liverpool were at Anfield. What do you want Liverpool to say, like? Sam says, who cares about performances? Rather have 5 wins on the board. Performances mean nothing. Absolutely, 100%. You would have said to me, look, at the start of the season, Liverpool are going to kind of struggle for performances, but they win 5 games in a row. Happy days. Absolutely, I'll take that. 5 wins in a row. Top of the league. Exactly. Look, Steve says, why should we be good losers? I hate losing. Absolutely. Honestly, people, I don't know about you, but when Liverpool lose, I mean, you can't even talk to me. It just ruins my day. Especially when it's a 12:30 kickoff and Liverpool lose. That's it. The weekend is ruined. You know, I hate when Liverpool lose on a 4:30 kickoff on a Sunday because you have to go to work on the Monday morning. Yeah, hate it. Absolutely hate it when they lose. Lee says, hello from Dublin, David. Love your videos after the game, mate. Like hearing your opinion all the time. Thanks very much, Lee. Hello from Laois. That's where I'm from. Laois. Lovely Laois. We don't have much to shout about in Laois, but at least Liverpool. We can shout for Liverpool. Ryan says it's all about winning matches by hook or by crook. Absolutely. Just win. That's all you have to do, lads. Just keep winning. I mean, at the start of the season, I always say 30 wins get you the title because that's 90 points. Now, obviously, it's not really realistic. You're going to drop points. But that's the way I look at it. So the way I have it in my head now, Liverpool need 25 wins to win the league. We're only 5 games in, people. That's how obsessed I am, honestly. I mean, and I don't know if you're superstitious, but I am. So on game day, I cannot wear the Liverpool jersey. I've had this since I was a child. Can't wear the jersey. I could wear it Monday, 6 days a week, but I cannot wear it on match day because it's unlucky. Simple as. Just Mark now says, I'm actually looking forward to a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff. Been a while. When was the last time we had a 3 p.m. kickoff? Have we had one this season? No. Yeah, I don't mind the 3 p.m. on a Saturday. I don't mind that at all. I think we all hate the 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. Hate that. I don't like the Sunday 2 either. I don't like that kickoff. Obviously, Sunday 4:30 is fine. Monday Night Football, I like I like that. Saturday at 8 o'clock, I don't really like either. But no, Saturday at 3 p.m. Old school. But yeah, still nervous. Doesn't matter how, like even against Burnley, it doesn't matter how poor the opposition is. I'm always nervous. Here we go. Look, here's the superstitious from Ian. I wore mine first game. Now I've got to wear it every game in case we lose. Keep wearing it, my man. Keep wearing that jersey. Superstitious. When we won the league in 2020, the night before every single game, I would listen to a certain song. That's how mad I am, people. It was Walk Away from Cast. No, don't ask. First game of the season, I was listening to that song the night before. Remember we played Norwich, we beat them 4-1. And I was just listening to that song and said, right, I'm going to have to keep this going. And I did, and we won the league. Eric says, hello, David. Good to see you doing a live stream. Love the content. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm going to do a few more. I don't know about doing watch-alongs, people, because, as I say, I get too nervous. You know, mad respect for people who do them. I don't know if it'd be for me. I mean, I'd be just really engrossed in the game. And so, yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do them. I might give it a go for maybe, say last night, I could do one Community Shield, or sorry, Community Shield, a League Cup game, something like that. But definitely not Premier League game. Way too nervous for them. Yeah, seriously, I have a problem. Ryan says, no, that's superstitious. Yep. Yeah, I could do an FA Cup game. I'm definitely not doing a league game. I might do a Champions League game where it's, you know, just in the league phase. Because we're winning the Champions League this season. I've said that from day one. So we're getting through the league phase. That's not a problem. But I just get too nervous watching them. Do an Everton watch along. I think that's on Comedy Central, is it? What do you think of Everton the other day? Liverpool made them look like Barcelona. What was going on, lads? I mean, honestly, shocking stuff. Everton are... I mean, they've got this new stadium, which I think it's way too modern. I don't think that's going to help them, because Goodison Park helped them stay up so many times. But honestly, they'll always be mid-table. Here's bad news. Sam says Sanchez is out when we play Chelsea. That's bad news for us. That man is useless. Chelsea goalkeeper. What was he doing against Manchester United? Honestly. I mean, he's terrible. This is the reason why Chelsea are not in a title race. Because you have to have a solid goalkeeper. You look at Alisson. I mean, when we had Karius, I actually seen that clip from the Champions League final. I seen it today. Popped up on my phone. Honestly, people, how bad was he? Seriously, Alisson made such a difference. And I'm surprised at Chelsea with the amount of players that they've signed to not get themselves a solid goalkeeper. Because once you get a goalkeeper, everything else kind of fits into place. The defence, they get even more confident when they have a solid goalkeeper behind them. Chelsea have really missed a trick there. I thought they would have got Donnarumma. He's gone to Man City. But no, I can't see Chelsea winning the league. They might win a few cups or whatever, like they did with the Club World Cup. But you have to have a solid goalkeeper. You have to. Look at Manchester United. With Man United, it was always one step forward, one step back, because they didn't have a solid goalkeeper. I mean, I miss Onana. I really do. But let's hope this Belgian lad, is he Belgian? He came from the Belgian league, but is he Belgian? Let's hope he's as bad as Onana. Sam said Arsenal and Man City seemed happy with a draw. There was no will to win by either side, especially not Man City. I think Arsenal looked the more likely to kind of get 3 points. They were at least trying. But Man City, I was shocked. They were parking the bus. I could not believe it. Honestly, it was shocking. Pep Guardiola team parking the bus. And, I mean, he was bringing on so many centre-halves, it was unreal. You'd actually forget how many centre-halves they have. I mean, he spent $500 million. Eric says Onana is a legend. Absolute. The best thing that's ever happened to Manchester United and to us Liverpool fans is Andre Onana. Legend. I will not have a bad word said about him. And I miss him. Ray says Chiesa was very impressive last night. He might be in with a shout to start versus Palace. I'd have no problem with that at all. I think he was playing for some... He was playing as if he was trying to prove a point. He was playing as... It was like as if he was playing for his future. I won't go that far. He has a future at Liverpool. We know that. But Arne Slot, I mean, he doesn't seem to rate him. But Chiesa, to his credit, he done everything in his power to say to the manager, don't forget about me. Okay? No problem with picking me to start or coming off the bench. Just don't forget about me. So I was delighted for him. I really was. Because he deserved it. And I love his attitude. You know, he even said today, or I read today, sorry, I think he said it after the match, that when he was not put in the Champions League squad, he was disappointed. But I'm a professional. I play for Liverpool. And I just have to keep going. I have league games and have cup games. I thought that was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, to have an attitude like that, when everybody can see that you deserve more minutes, but the manager just doesn't rate you, and you still keep your head down, keep going. Absolutely fantastic. Chiesa definitely deserves his chance. Yeah, absolutely. He really does. Euro 96. Sorry, missed that. Here we go. His dad was a legend, scored at Anfield in Euro 96. That's true, actually, because Euro 96, I was 11. And it was the first real tournament where I was obsessed. I was obsessed with football. That was the first season, 95-96, where everything was Liverpool. I was just obsessed. You know, before that, we didn't have Sky in the house growing up. You know, my father's not into football at all. So I kind of got into football. My earliest memory of football is watching Ireland penalty shootout in 1990 against Romania. And then you'd see like Champions League games on RTE. But then I started supporting Liverpool Robbie Fowler was the main striker. And then 95-96 season, him and Stan Collymore, that was the season where I was just obsessed with football. Everything was Liverpool. And Euro 96 was the first tournament. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, Noel says, late joining and maybe mentioned already, but given the Leone situation, surely we ought go all out and get Mark A in January. Yeah, I mentioned that at the top of the show, but absolutely spot on. We have to. You know, Liverpool, they might have said, look, okay, let's wait till next summer. We might get Mark A on a free transfer. We'll look at other options. We have got to get a defender in January. We have to. We just have to. You know, hopefully in January we have Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup. Hopefully we're still in the League Cup. You cannot be realistic and think that you're going to win at least 2 of those with only 3 centre-halves. You know, we need to get somebody. Eric says, 95 Coca-Cola Cup win against Bolton. The first time I've seen Liverpool win a trophy. Yeah, I remember that. Again, that was the Steve McManaman final, of course. I remember I was in the pub and just watching in the background, but like I say, the following season, that was the season I was just obsessed with them. But yeah, Steve McManaman. And then Jason McAteer, remember he was playing in that final as well. Who's back up to Gomez? That's a great question. Who is back up to Gomez now? I mean, you cannot put Ryan Gravenberch there. You can't take him out of midfield. And you remember when Virgil van Dijk done his knee in 2020? Now, Virgil, obviously, legend. What a defender. But the real reason that Liverpool really struggled that season is because Fabinho went out of midfield and went to play centre-half. So that not only were we missing Virgil at the back, we were missing Fabinho in the middle. We cannot do that. God forbid something happens to Virgil this season. We cannot put Ryan Gravenberch in there. Because then the midfield suffers. And I know we've got more numbers in midfield. But it doesn't matter. That man is playing unbelievably. We have to keep these players in their position. That's why we have to go out and get someone in January. Won't change your mind about that. We have to get someone. Robertson. Yeah, look, he's played there before, but ask yourself the question, would you really trust him in the biggest games in the new year? I don't think so. Gomez was absolutely horrible yesterday. Was not interested. Leone looked like the senior partner. Absolutely. I said that as well. Absolutely. You know, if you were to say, if you didn't watch Liverpool, if you didn't know anything about football, and you just watched that game, you'd say, oh, is Gomez making his debut tonight? He was that bad. He was absolutely terrible. Endo. Forgot about Endo. Eric says probably Endo playing there. Yeah, but he was terrible as well last night. Reece Williams, the legend. What a player. I'm not joking, these people. I've seen the bench last night and seen Reece Williams. I was like, is he still at Liverpool? I mean, remember that season? Brilliant. And that's my point as well, that season. When Fabinho went in and played centre-half, you know, we ended that season with Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, and we got top 4 because Fabinho was back in midfield. You know, this playing midfielders in the centre-halves, I don't like it. I really don't. Here's one. Just mark now. Did anyone go to Lansdowne Road in 98 for Liverpool versus Leeds and Liverpool versus Lazio on the same day? I didn't. I remember exactly what you're talking about. It was a pre-season friendly. Liverpool beat Leeds with a 2-0. Michael Owen score. I actually went to, let me see if I can think the year. It might have been the following summer. Steve Staunton's testimonial match. And an Ireland 11 played Liverpool. And it was proper Liverpool. Steven Gerrard was there. Heskey. I mean, it was the proper Liverpool team. Brilliant. I forget what the score was. I think it was something like 4-3 or something. But that was a great day out. Yeah, this thing as well. Sam says, Roy Keane says we were bad defending champions in 2020. Reason being Van Dijk got injured and struggled to make top 4. Yeah, people don't mention Van Dijk getting injured. Oh, the last time Liverpool won the league, they were poor champions. Yeah, mention the injuries. Because you can't defend the title when your best players are out. You just can't. And we finished third that season. It wasn't like it was a disaster. Just mark no, yeah, I went to Ireland versus Liverpool too, yeah. I remember that game. Second half, it was goals galore. But yeah, I remember watching, I think that was the first time that I had seen the likes of Steven Gerrard live. It's like this was a different level, and it was only a friendly. This is fact. Look, we still finished third, and we're the best team in the league for the last 2 months. Yeah, and it set us up for the following season when Virgil came back. We nearly won the quadruple. But I was going to actually mention that season when we lost the league and then lost the Champions League the following Saturday. Honestly, people, that was shocking. 50 people are watching. That's amazing. Thank you all so much. Honestly, I started this channel at the start of last season, and the goal was to do some live streaming. I said before in one of my videos, the Wi-Fi was absolutely terrible. It was embarrassing. So Sky got me the upgrade the other day, and here we are. So thank you all so much for watching. Phillips was great in the last 10 matches, yeah. Remember the result at Old Trafford? He scored an own goal. But after that, he was absolutely brilliant. I love these kind of unsung heroes, kind of these cult classics. You know what I mean? These legends. Because Jimmy Traore, for example, 2005, one of the worst players you will ever see playing for Liverpool. But he's a legend. Everyone in that 2005 team, legends. John says, hi, how much potential has Rio got in your opinion? I think he can be a superstar. Absolute superstar, honestly. It's whenever you watch him, it's hard to believe he's so young. And that's the biggest compliment you can give him. Because whenever he gets the ball, and even last night, watching the game last night, whenever he got the ball, the crowd were just expecting something to happen. And a lot of the time, Southampton, and I noticed this against, it was Atletico, every time he got the ball, there was two men on him. Because that's how much respect I have for him. That's how dangerous he is. And when you have a player like that who just, whenever he gets the ball, he runs at the defenders. They're terrified of him. So I think this man is going to go to the very top. And hopefully it's at Liverpool. Because, honestly, what a talent. Here's another cult legend. Maxi Rodriguez. Hat-trick against Fulham, wasn't it? Legend. We've had some great players, haven't we? We really have. What a club. Right, people. 52 people in watching. Let's have the conversation. Florian Wirtz. Be honest now. What do you think? Just be honest. Forget about he needs time. Don't want to hear it. What do you think about him? Because I'll be honest. I did not see a lot of him last season. So when Liverpool signed him, I was thinking, this is unbelievable. City wanted him, Real Madrid wanted him, Bayern Munich wanted him, and Liverpool got him. Bundesliga Player of the Year, but I hadn't seen a lot of him. I was excited. I'm going to be honest. He is not impressing me at all. He's just not. He needs to show me a lot more. I think AGT said the very same thing on the COP TV. He needs to show more. He came off the bench against Everton, and I was thinking, perfect game for him, because Everton were chasing an equaliser. The game was stretched. He didn't do a thing. And it's so disappointing, because we all want him to do well. We really do. Wirtz needs space to operate. See, this is the problem. Because it's the Premier League. You're not going to get that much space. I get what you're saying, absolutely. And I do agree with you. But the man needs to be stronger. He needs to get to grips with the Premier League. I said it many times. My favourite non-Liverpool player Dennis Bergkamp. Took him a while to get used to the Premier League. I'm hoping this is the same thing with Florian Wirtz. But at the moment, I haven't seen anything in him. I really haven't. Florian looks overwhelmed with the physicality of the game in the Premier League. Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree more. He does. And he came off the bench against Everton. And as I say, I was hoping this is it. I mean, he just, I don't know, he looked a little bit overwhelmed by the whole thing. You know, and that's surprising. Now look, I'm not gonna criticise him because it's a £100 million player. The price tag is not his fault. It's not. But as I say, I think he just needs to show us a little bit more. I've been disappointed. Trying too hard. Yeah, he probably is trying a bit too hard. And he probably is dropping a little bit too deep. He needs to stay in that number 10 position. We've got enough players. See, the problem is, Florian Wirtz is probably thinking, I have to control this game. And he has to drop deep to get the ball. But that's, you know, that's not his game. He needs to stay in the position where he can really impact the game. If Wirtz played the best he will ever do for Liverpool right now, it would be extremely disappointing. But we all know he's not. That's from Richard. Yeah, absolutely, it would be. But do you know what I mean? When you look at Ekitike, for 90 minutes, Ekitike doesn't play great. But there's always these moments where you're like, wow. You know, whether it's a goal or a touch or something. Isak as well. He scored his first goal last night. But even without the goal, little moments. But Florian Wirtz, I just haven't seen those moments where you're like, wow, this player is going to be special. I just haven't. He's had, I don't know, against Arsenal he had a few moments, but it just wasn't. It's almost like it's getting to the stage where if he has a 10-yard pass, people are like, wow, how did he do that? You know, he just needs to show more. It's a tactics thing. People are too reactionary. Let the starting 11 get consistent game time together and they will gel. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Look, but here's the problem with this, right? When we talk about starting 11, does Arne Slot know his starting 11? Does he know his best 11? Because for the Goodison, for the Merseyside derby, he dropped Florian Wirtz to get the Premier League winning midfield from last season back into that game. And I thought it was a correct decision. Because the physicality of that game, he knew Florian Wirtz would struggle. So, what do? Do you keep playing him, hoping that one day it'll click? Or do you bring him in off the bench? You know, this is the problem. Yeah, look, this is a good point. McAllister's first few games for us weren't that great when he first joined. That's true, but he was playing a little bit deeper than he usually would. But yeah, that is a good point. Slot is still trying to figure out his best combinations. Yeah, it's true. I mean, when you look at Liverpool, has there ever been a Premier League champion that has made so many changes like Liverpool did in the summer? You know, 2 new strikers. We lost Diogo Jota, may he rest in peace. 2 new strikers, 2 new fullbacks, a number 10. When we didn't play with a number 10 last season, we had the hardest working midfield in showbiz last year. And we get in Florian Wirtz to kind of change the setup, to change the way we play. So, yeah, look, it is, at least we're winning. It is going to take time, but at least we're winning. First, I defer to the scouting team and our genius manager. There are reasons we bought him. It will happen for him. Yeah, look, I mean, I said it before. Michael Edwards, the man is a genius. He's an absolute genius. And if they believe that Florian Wirtz is the one, then he is the one. I'm just saying after the first, what have we played now? 7 games? I mean, you didn't play last night. Let's say 5 league games. Just haven't seen anything where I'm like, wow, this player is going to be special. Because I heard in the summer, people were saying, this guy's going to be a future Ballon d'Or winner. You're like, lads, come on. What are you basing that on? So, I do think that the price tag brings a certain expectation that isn't fair. It's not fair on him. But unfortunately, it's Liverpool Football Club. You know, you can't keep putting in these performances and just expecting to play because you cost that money. You're going to have to start playing. You're going to have to show us a little bit more. And sometimes his passing is just so poor. And that's the problem. You know, there's games where I'm looking at him, I'm not expecting him to pull off this impossible pass or to get a goal or even an assist. But sometimes it's just basic passing and he just keeps giving it away. It's little moments like that. Paul says, good evening, my fellow Reds. You'll never walk alone. Good evening to you, Paul. Peter says, 52 watching, 67 likes. Not bad, mates. Wirtz will be a superstar for Liverpool. Remember when everyone knocked Klopp in the beginning? Wirtz is really a diamond. 67 likes. Thanks very much, everybody. Yeah, look, as I say, we all want him to do well. I just need to see a little bit more from him. This is the point here as well. Mahrez also took time to settle in at City. But this is the point that I was making earlier. I have not seen Florian Wirtz last season. I don't watch German football. I watched him when they're in the Champions League. I don't really watch German football. So when you watch Mahrez at City, you could always go back to the Leicester days and say, but this man is unbelievable. Does any of us really have that with Florian Wirtz? Or at least the majority, because I don't. I'll be honest. I didn't see him when he played for Bayer Leverkusen. I didn't see a lot of him. So, Alexander Isak, perfect example. We signed him from Newcastle. We all know how great a player he is. The man is absolutely brilliant. And even when he's struggling for fitness at the moment, but there could be games where he doesn't do anything for Liverpool, but you know, this man is just brilliant. I don't have that with Florian Wirtz because I didn't watch him last season. So that's the problem. We're kind of going off what other people are saying about him. That's just my opinion. Mary says, finally an Irish LFC content creator that talks my language. Keep her lit, Dave. It's the Laois accent, isn't it? Isak took time at Newcastle, yeah. Rushy could say a few words about starting slow at Liverpool. Yeah, that's true. He was very young though, wasn't he? You do need some patience with this kid, Wirtz. Yeah, I do. Look, as I keep saying, it's a Liverpool Football Club. You know, you can't keep putting in these performances and just expecting to start because you're 100 million. You know, but look, as I keep saying, we all want him to do well, and I really hope he does. But it's great that we're winning because, you know, can you imagine who did we get last minute? Like the Newcastle game, right? That could have easily been a 2-2 draw. What else did we have? Bournemouth game and the Burnley game. So if they didn't go our way, we could be mid-table. And can you imagine the narrative then, people? Oh, Liverpool are terrible champions. Oh, they've made too many changes. So it's great that we're winning. We're not playing well, but it's great that we're winning. But it's not good for our health. It's really not good for our health. Come on, Port Vale. Well, that's on now, isn't it? Playing the Gooners. Did anyone see what Arteta said today? I think it was today. He was talking about how CEOs and presidents rang him about the performance against Man City. I mean, honestly, the man he's losing it. Everybody was complaining about Arsenal's performance. Everybody. In the first half, he picked the wrong team. And now CEOs are congratulating him. What is it now with Arsenal anyway? 2020. So it'll be 6 years next year if he doesn't win it. How is he still in a job? Wirtz is a baller. Just needs to get used to the speed of the Premier League. Yeah, that's true. Hopefully. As I say, hopefully. We all want him to do well. But is the performance, is it concerning you, really? Because we haven't played well. It's great to win. We haven't played well. But let's take the Crystal Palace game. That's a tough place to go. Are you concerned that if we don't play well, we're not winning this game. You know, that's my biggest worry. But hopefully. Stop at the price tag, thought it'll help to get over it. Trust me, he's going to come good. Look what some nonsensical fans thought. I'd suppose like last season, everyone's loving him now. He's a kid. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fair. Arsenal is happy with average results and that we're building badge. Trust the process. Why won't anybody trust the process? How long has the process been processing? 5 or 6 years now? Frimpong promised us that Wirtz is going to smash it soon. What do you think of Frimpong last night? I'm going to be honest with you people. I don't really like him. I'm going to be honest. I don't really like him. I think we've better options at right back. I think Soboslai at the moment is a better option than Frimpong. He was so poor last night. He really was. I tell you, I'm always questioning as well players that were at English clubs that then went foreign and then end up back in England. I don't know. Always question that. Arsenal's problem is that Arteta is not a great manager. Spot on. He's not. Never walk alone. Heart goes out to Leone. Absolutely. Devastating for him. He's out for the season. He really is. I mean, he was playing well. Real wants Gahey. I hate it. This is the problem. Look, I read something there as well that people were saying, criticising Liverpool and saying they should have just went a couple of weeks earlier and paid 5 million extra, whatever it was, and just got Gahey through the door. But Liverpool, you can't really criticise them. They did all they could. It was Crystal Palace at the last minute. Liverpool were getting a really good player for 35 million, and it was Crystal Palace who were the ones who said, oh no, by the way, we changed our minds at the last minute. Like, honestly, so unprofessional. This is a great point. Salah was with Chelsea, then Roma, then Liverpool. Remember when Chelsea sold De Bruyne because they thought he wasn't good enough? And look what he did at City. First will be just fine. Do you remember when City bought Kevin De Bruyne? Everybody's saying, what are they doing? And it was the same with Liverpool and Salah. Chelsea reject. One season wonder. He's still a one season wonder, to be fair. After how many seasons is it now? 8? 7? 8? Will you make green screen and add the trophies in the background? No, I'm not going to do a green screen. No, I was going to get some pictures for the wall. That's still in the works. I'm not going to do the green screen. But yeah, I will definitely update the background. It's just taking a bit of time. It's trying to find the right pictures and stuff, you know, because I'm not really sure what way it'd look. I did have one in mind. It was a Liverpool crest, and it was going to go there, say, but it was nearly €200. I actually ordered it, didn't arrive, had to get my money back. But I'm definitely going to look into something for the background. But it's not going to be a green screen. It's not going to be a green screen. Let us vote for a green screen. Well, what do you think? A green screen be better? I don't know. At the moment, it's a no. But you never know, it could change. Roll on Palace, looking forward to seeing the 11 on Saturday. The big one is Florian Wirtz and the right back. No green screen. A good old flag for the background. Yeah, I might get something like that. I was going to get a frame picture of the team lifting the trophy last season. I seen that. And then I was going to get another one, Diogo Jota. But as I say, it's just getting the right one. Do you and Craig on Anfield Agenda know each other personally? Maybe do a collaboration one day. My two favourite content creators. Thanks very much for that. No, haven't a clue who Craig is. I think he's from Dublin. I haven't a clue. Don't know him personally. But as I say, respect him. Fair play to him. Huge Liverpool channel. He's probably the biggest Liverpool content creator, definitely in Ireland anyway. I mean, he definitely rivals some of the ones in England as well. So fair play to him. But no, definitely don't know him. Just heard the news on Leone gutted for his impressive debut. Frimpong was shocking last night. Should have got Gay over the line 2 weeks before window. Yeah, look, hindsight is a great thing. Liverpool would have been looking at that thinking 35 million is a steal. What a bit of business. Last day of the window. And as I say, Palace, very unprofessional. But yeah, it was disappointing though, wasn't it? It was kind of, because we had such a great window, it really was a little bit, we ended it on a little bit of a disappointment because we knew that was the one area we really needed to strengthen and we didn't get it. You know, if we had missed out on Isak, we have Ekatike, but then we really needed Gay. That was the problem. And look where we are now, only 3 fit centre halves. So, look, hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt us. But the second half of the season, that's when this could really, it could really come back now and bite us because we just have to get someone in January. Chiesa into the Champions League squad now, yeah. Look, the one positive from Leone's injury is that Chiesa is there because he definitely deserves it. I mean, that performance last night. I mean, he's already a cult hero with the song Legend. I mean, it's one of the best songs ever. But his performance is definitely deserved to get into the Champions League. But yeah, Arne Slot, he's one of the best managers ever, in my opinion, already. That's only after one season with Liverpool. But you just have to question sometimes the way he treats Chiesa. I said last season, look, we just have to get over it. He doesn't rate him, that's it. But then this season, he's bringing him off the bench. He started him last night. I mean, you know, we're still guessing, really, what way he feels about him. But I think we all know what way the fans feel about him. But yeah, how long? 53 minutes been live, people. First live stream, not bad, I have to say. I mean, I actually planned to only do about half an hour. Not bad. Fair play to you. Thanks very much for joining us. Going to call it a day now in about 8 o'clock. So 10 past 8 now. About 8:15. Slot has man management issues like all managers. Yeah, look, I mean, every manager has their favourites and everything, you know. And I'm sure there's players, ex-players, I'm sure will say Jurgen Klopp was this, Jurgen Klopp was that, and other players will say he was total opposite, didn't get on with him, all of this, or Alex Ferguson back in the day. Tell you who was probably one of the worst man managers in Liverpool's history was Rafa Benitez. Honestly. Terrible. Some of the stories you hear from him, I mean, he was terrible. Even Steven Gerrard said it. You know, he'd never put the arm around him, and some players needed that. You know, other players didn't. They didn't mind that. They were able to perform. They didn't need the manager to be kind of having a chat with him and all of that. Steven Gerrard, to his credit, he played his best under Benitez. But he always said he would have loved to have, you know, the manager just have a word with him and all of that. I remember actually I was at Liverpool game. Torres scored a hat-trick against Hull. We won the game, was it 6-1? I was actually at that game. And Torres got everybody to sign the ball after the game. Benitez signed it. You can still improve. You know, it's little things like that. You know, he had just scored a hat-trick. He was man of the match by a mile. And he couldn't help himself, but... And I understand that Benitez was looking at it saying, right, standards, you know, you have to keep them up and all of that. But at times, just give the player a bit of praise. You know, put your arm around him, praise him. That's all he was looking for. Keith says, well done on your first live stream. Onwards and upwards. Thank you very much. Rafa got the performances out of players through coldness. That not sustainable. Yeah, that was the problem. It wasn't sustainable because what happens, players, you know, the player power nowadays, it just wasn't. And when it went bad, you could see what was going on. But yeah, Rafa Benitez at Liverpool, the man is a legend. But for me, 2005 Champions League final, the man did absolutely everything in his power to lose that game. And I will always say that, honestly. Could not understand what the man was doing, picking that team. And at half-time, people always give him credit for the changes he made at half-time. He had to make those changes. He had to. We would have lost the game 5 or 6-0. You know, all season long, it was Didi Hamann playing in that midfield. To not play him in the final against AC Milan. Little things like that with Rafa always drove me up the wall. And remember in 2008-2009 season when we were going for the league, the amount of times that he left Steven Gerrard on the bench and then Gerrard would have to come off the bench 20 minutes to go and rescue the game. The amount of times he did it, it just made no sense. I mean, the man is a legend, absolutely. He'll always have Istanbul. Some of the things he did. That was Julia's team in many ways. Yeah, absolutely. It was Rafa's first season, but he did have the Spanish players, Luis Garcia, Xavi Alonso. So he did have a couple of his signings, but honestly, his man management at the times was just terrible. How about having a live stream after a game? Although I am like you when we don't win, so I'd only join after a win. I think I'd only live stream after a win, honestly. The way they affect me when they lose. But thankfully, under Arne Slot, we haven't had many of those. And this season, we haven't had one yet. So hopefully Saturday, we continue that and we win, get 3 points. 2005, never forgotten. Didi should have started 1000%. Yeah, but it just, the thing is, it was obvious that he should start. So why was Rafa not starting him? That's what I just could not understand. Also lost 2007 final. Right, 2007 final, people. This has always stuck with me. And I go on a rant on about this regular. But 2007 final, that AC Milan team, that was not the same team as 2005. Liverpool were better. We had Craig Bellamy and Peter Crouch. He did not start them. They had Maldini and Nesta. 2 absolute legends. But they were getting on. They were aging. They were not the same players. And instead of him saying, Craig Bellamy, Peter Crouch, we've got pace, we've got a bit of skill, we've got the height, Crouch, awkwardness, let's go after it. No. He didn't do that either. Just mark now, Crouch should have started. Absolutely. Could not agree more. Richard, Robbie Keane was horrible. Harry Kewell too. The Robbie Keane thing, right? This is the Robbie Keane thing. I'm not just saying this because Robbie's Irish and all that. Robbie got a raw deal at Liverpool because there was a war going on between Benitez and the owners. And I never liked it because that was the season we were going for the league title. Now, he sold Robbie in January. We ended up missing out on the league by 4 points. Now, I think at one stage at the end of that season, we won 11 out of 13 games. I think we drew 1 and lost 1. So you can't really say it was because we sold Robbie Keane. But it was just, why? Why are you selling him? Just keep him. Even for the Champions League. Something. It just made no sense. Rafa was always on a kind of a power struggle with the owners, always. Nick says, I don't speak to anyone for 24 hours after a loss. I know exactly how you feel. We were better side 2007. I'm heartbroken all over again. My apologies. I'm going down memory lane here. One of AC Milan's goals would have been ruled out by VAR today. Which one? First one was Maldini. Second one, what was second one? Third one was Crespo. Which one was ruled out by VAR? Was there an offside? Ryan says, if you had to choose, would you want the Prem or Champions League this season? Premier League. Premier League every season, all season, every season. Champions League, I always look at the Champions League as a bonus. If you could win the Premier League and the Champions League, happy days. If you don't win the Premier League, but you win the Champions League, brilliant season. I mean, in 2019, when we got 97 points, finished second, we won the Champions League, but there was still that little bit, how do we not win the league? You know, so the league is the most important thing for me. But I'm just convinced we're winning the Champions League this season. But I will always pick the Premier League. Always. Premier's our bread and butter. Shank said as much. Yeah, absolutely. Premier League. You know, and we've gone away from dominating the league. You know, for years we were known as Champions League team. We always go far in the Champions League. We need to get back to being dominating in the Premier League. Premier League all the way. That's the most difficult to win. Yeah. David says Premier League always. I always look at the Premier League as the main one, and the Champions League is kind of a bonus. You know, for me, it should always be the league. And if it's different when you look at Man City. When Pep Guardiola came to Man City, it was to win the Champions League, because that's what them owners were about. You know, they didn't care about English football. You know, did they grow up with Richard Dunn on their poster in their bedroom? No, they never even heard of Manchester City. They wanted to dominate Europe. That's all they care about. But when you're talking about Liverpool Football Club, it's about dominating the league. And then the Champions League is the bonus. That's what Liverpool are about. You know, you look at Chelsea as well. It was always Roman Abramovich came into Chelsea. He wanted to win the Champions League. You know, these foreign owners want the Champions League. That's all they want. But when Liverpool, a club the size of Liverpool, I don't care where the owners are from, the fans, we want the league. And the Champions League is a bonus. Ekatike will be unavailable for next game, right? Yep. Ekatike is out for the Crystal Palace game because the man did not realise he was on a yellow card. To be fair, neither did I, until the commentator said, he's off. I was like, what? Being a cup team was a lot of fun in the past, especially in 2001, but now it's all about the league first and everything else after. Yep. Could not agree more. 2001 was, I mean, for me, it was the best season as a Liverpool fan up to that point. I was 16 and, like I say, I was just obsessed with them at that stage. And at the start of that season, it was finish top four, win a trophy. To win the 3 trophies and to get top four, it was a brilliant season. And the FA Cup final, we got absolutely destroyed. I mean, Michael Owen, he broke my heart, like Fredo in Godfather Part 2. But brilliant that day. He really was. See, this is the point I was making, right? This is a great comment. Robbie Keane would have scored in that 4-4 against Arsenal. See, this is the point I'm making. See, you don't know. We don't know if he would have. We don't know. But why would you sell him? Like, what did you gain from getting rid of Robbie Keane? Just a little dig at the owners. It just made no sense to me. I think we finished third. Look, I'm going to be honest. You can check on my channel. I predicted Liverpool to finish third this season. Just because of all the changes that we made. But looking at Arsenal, I said that I think Arsenal will change. Arteta, he's got Gyökeres, he's got Subamendi. He'll go for it in these games. First 5 games of the season, he hasn't changed a thing. David says, the first match I ever watched Liverpool play was the European Cup versus Madrid in 81. But I've always had more joy watching us win the league. Paris. Do you remember when we got to the Champions League final in 2022 and it was changed to Paris? And I was thinking, you know, we beat Real Madrid in Paris in 81. It's definitely written in the stars. It wasn't written in the stars. David also says, P.S. Ekatike is a gobshite. Yeah. I have to agree, unfortunately. This is good. Back then I counted the Super Cup and Charity Shield all in the same year. So I was going around saying we won 5 trophies. And you were right. We did. Absolutely. I still count the Super Cup and the Charity Shield. Absolutely. Here's the thing with the Charity Shield, though, right? If you were to win, say if Liverpool win, we didn't win the Charity Shield, right? But say if we had have won it and we win the Premier League, you don't mention the Charity Shield. You say, we won the Premier League. That's it. If you don't win anything else and you're like, we won the Charity Shield, it's kind of used as a, oh no, we did win a trophy, we won the Charity Shield. But no, you kind of, the Charity Shield is there to kind of accumulate. But, no, dead right. We won 5 trophies that season, absolutely. Right, people. What time is it? It's 20 past. How's Arsenal doing before we finish up here? The Arsenal, they're 1-0. Is it? That means he won't be playing for Crystal Palace on Saturday. I'm joking. No, honestly, people, thanks very much for joining me. First live stream. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Probably do one Saturday after the match. Not going to do a watch along because it's the league. Too nervous. But thanks very much for watching, everybody. And let me know what you think.